Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Marisol and I really just like to speak my truth. Every video can really be on something completely random, completely diverse, completely silly, completely funny. It's really just dependent on my mood. But at the end of the day, my goal is to really just educate people. I'm not knowledgeable in every single area in life at all. I'm learning along the way, just like you guys. But I like to share what I learn immediately once I learn it. I don't know why. I just get really passionate and I want everybody to have this knowledge and I want everybody to be informed and I want everybody to feel like they just learned something and that they can take away. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do. Go ahead and click that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload, and please subscribe to my channel. It's very much appreciated. If you don't want to, that's okay. So today we're going to be talking about just kind of ways to improve your life, ways to just kind of think outside the box, think like a winner, think like somebody who wants to be successful. And again, success is completely different for everybody. And I'm going to try and generalize it as much as I can. So I attended a seminar this morning. I literally just got out of it about an hour ago. And the seminar had a public speaker. The public speaker's name was Jamie. She grew up in a household where her family was abusive. And she just kind of never felt like she could be herself and things of that sort. I don't feel like it's really my place to tell her story. If I can find more information on kind of, if you want to check her out, you're welcome to. And if I can find that information, I'll put it in the description box below. So again, her life in a sense was traumatic, like many of our own lives. You know, I shared my story on YouTube, and for some of you, that might have been really crazy and mind-blowing, and you couldn't wrap your head around it. And I appreciate you for wanting to get informed and for watching it. But for others, maybe you experienced it, or you are able to relate to it in some way, or you know of somebody who was in a similar situation. I know that a lot of people have experienced trauma, whether that's verbally, emotionally, physically. So pretty much the seminar consisted of workshops that you were able to attend and pick from. I believe there was probably like 7 different options, and I decided to go ahead and go to her workshop right after she spoke. Reason being is because the seminar was going to be covering the topic on trauma in ourselves and how we grow from that and how we heal from that and how we perhaps help others to do the same. Because if we aren't healed and if we aren't right, how are we supposed to do that for others, right? And again, this seminar was really targeting educators, so teachers, principals of that sort, but this can apply to everybody. I literally crashed that seminar because I knew people who literally put it together, and I was like, I want to go, I want to learn about this. And I'm not a teacher, don't plan to be a teacher. I just like kids, I like learning. So if you are like me, welcome. So something that she touched base on was, if you want to change your life, if you're tired of your life, if you're tired of doing the same thing and getting the same outcome and just kind of going through the cycle nonstop, here are some tips that hopefully can help to motivate you to want more for yourself. And I don't want to sound repetitive because I literally just finished posting on my Insta story a really long, pretty much what I'm talking about here in like 15 slides. So I'm gonna try my best to get everything covered. So something that I really liked that she talked about was the rule of 5, which is you will become the average of the 5 people that you hang around with, okay? Meaning, just like that saying, who you hang out with is who you are. And for me, growing up, I heard that a lot, and of course we can understand it to a certain extent, but I never really truly felt like it hit home. I was just kind of like, that's the saying, whatever, blah, 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 I'm gonna continue, right? Well, she went into depth about talking about it, and she said, at the end of the day, if you're hanging out with people who are eating out all the time, who are lazy, who just complain, eventually you're going to end up like that. And so in order to change that, you really need to really think about who you want to be. You need to take that time to reflect on yourself, and you need to think, okay, well, if I don't want to be like that anymore, what do I want from life, right? And we're not always going to have the answers. I think a lot of our life is based off of this question of, well, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Who the heck knows? But at the end of the day, you don't want to be a bum. You don't want to just not do anything. You want to have a passion. You want to have a purpose. And so you got to figure out what that purpose is by setting up goals, okay? By setting up goals. I found myself really in deep thought when she talked about that, because I said, I'm finally starting to turn my life back around to where I feel motivated to talk about things. I feel motivated to learn. And I was just kind of going through this tough period in time where I had no purpose, I had no ambition, I had no drive. And honestly, you guys, I was going through heartbreak. I was letting a man define how I felt about myself, whether he knew it or not. And I finally am no longer in that place, but I was like, I need to get back to the me that I know. And the me that I knew wanted to start a business. And I'm not going to get into debt about what I want to do, because this isn't that. So anyways, I'm going back to my goal, right? And in order for me to achieve my goal, I had to think of 5 people that were going to help me get there. And for me, I decided that I wanted to add specific qualities that needed to be met in my life and find that in those 5 people. She didn't say that, but pretty much you can try and think for yourself and think, well, what do I need in these people, right? Why are they in my life? They have to have purpose. And for the first person served the purpose of keeping my hunger for reaching higher education, to just be knowledgeable on things, whether that's through school, whether that's through seminars, whether that's through reading, whatever it is. She helped to give me that ambition and keep me on the right path. And she also provided structure, which isn't something that I was really accustomed to. So that are the characteristics that I found in one person, right? The second person, she really just provided warmth and kindness. And for some, these qualities might be just so basic, and maybe you've experienced these qualities in everyone in your life. That's pretty rare, but if you have, lucky you. But for others, perhaps they've never experienced that. And I'm not saying that I haven't, but that's something that's very important to me, is being able to feel people who are very genuine, who are warm, who just make you feel tingly inside. And then the third person was somebody who I loved, who I trusted, who I felt really connected to through my roots from a very young age, right? And then the fourth person was somebody who's gonna allow me to stay young. I'm only 22 years old, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, a lot of pressure on myself, I feel like, mentally. And sometimes I forget, I'm only 22. That's not an excuse to not be hungry and to not strive to just be more. But I also have to remember that I need to enjoy my life in the moment and be young. And this person helps me to do that. And they also happen to be a family. And they help me to keep me balanced, because at the same time, that person's already successful. So while we're having fun, I'm not going to get sidetracked on, oh, well, we're having fun. This is so much more fun than everything else. I'm just going to keep hanging out with this person. No, that person also has priorities. They're already successful. They already have all of these degrees and things of that sort that I look up to. And again, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So then those are 4 people, right? And each serve specific qualities. It's not to say that the first person doesn't have any warmth or love or trust, and that I don't trust them. Of course I do. But all of these people I love and I care about and I cherish and I value their friendship. However, they serve a specific purpose to me, and you don't need to let them know that. You can just know that for yourself, right? So I said 5. I've only mentioned 4 people. The 5th person I have yet to add on because I want to find somebody who is financially driven. Like literally they have tunnel vision when it comes to being financially established, where they're constantly in businesses, they're constantly brainstorming, they're constantly making that money. And I need to find that person. And as time goes on and as time progresses, your list might change based off of your priorities, based off of your goals. And that is okay. As long as you have a list, as long as you have a goal, that's great. Maybe for some, it's like, I have a goal to not be depressed. I have a goal to just live my life day by day and actually enjoy it. And that's amazing. I applaud you because that is hard. And so you're going to find 5 people in your life who are going to motivate you to want to enjoy your life. You get me? And I'm talking so passionate like this because I'm really passionate about this. All right. So we're having those 5 people. And I just want to point out, it isn't unrealistic to only have 5 people in your life. And I don't even know if that's necessarily healthy. However, I personally have several other people in my life that I care about, that I love, that I cherish, that I appreciate because they've been on this journey with me in life. And although they're not on my top 5, because all of these people in my top 5, 4 of them are 15 years older than me or 30 years older than me, except for one, the one that helps to keep me young. He's only 3 years older than me. So the people that didn't make it to the list, I don't want you guys who are watching this and think like, oh man, like she doesn't appreciate me and everything that I've done. No, I love you guys just as much, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. If I want to become like this person, or if I want to have this business, or if I want to accomplish this, I have to have tunnel vision. It doesn't mean that you guys can't be at the end of that tunnel waiting for me, right? You guys can be there, and I love you guys and I appreciate you guys, especially because I have a son. It takes a village to raise a child, right? And I need that village. That village is really my support system, and I appreciate you guys and I love you guys and I don't want your feelings to get hurt. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. So another thing that she talked about was boundaries, right? So we have to set those boundaries for the people who aren't necessarily on our list and aren't necessarily on our list of people that are even good for you. Sometimes we need to completely cut off people who are just completely toxic. And you can't allow your guilt or your empathy for others to get in the way of what's best for you, right? I think many times we're just like, well, you know, she's my sister. How can I cut her off? Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, toxic is toxic. Right? Negativity will bring you down. It does not matter from where it comes from. It will bring you down. And sometimes the people who are supposed to be your biggest supporters will try and bring you down. So when we talk about setting boundaries, it literally means at times we're cutting the cord completely, right? But then at times we can have our top 5 up here, let's say, right? But then we have boundaries with other people in our lives where perhaps they're a little bit right here or they're a little bit down here. The people who are right here, perhaps you're not giving them access to you as much. You're putting these 5 people as a priority because at the end of the day, they're going to get you to the top, right? And so you're allowing these people to still be in your life, right? But these people are there perhaps to help you unwind, help you still be a person and not a robot and just be like da da da, but they're not going to be getting all of your time and attention when you could be hanging out with these people who are going to nourish your mindset, right? And then the people down here are people that perhaps you see like once every 7 months or once a year or something of that sort, right? They're not really your priority and you're definitely not theirs. They're kind of just hanging out with you because they want to be nosy or because they have nothing else going on, right? So you can choose to either sync with the people who you completely cut off or you should be cutting off, or you can choose to be stagnant with the people who it's cool to chill with them, but they literally have no ambition. Every single time you talk to them, it's like the same conversation, and you're just kind of like, cool. Or you can decide to grow. And this is gonna be with your top 5, okay? You're gonna grow because there's really no other way to go with these 5 people and the specific qualities that you're looking for in them than up. And at the end of the day, you're not always going to succeed on the first try. You're not always going to feel motivated. But on the days where you feel low, on the days where you feel like giving up, and on the days when you fall, and you will fall, you're going to have your 5 there to pick you right back up, dust you off, and tell you, come on, let's do it again, right? So boundaries is everything. And for some, you can watch this video and you can think that's true, and just continue on with your life. And maybe that week you're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick my top 5. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna set a goal, blah, blah, blah. But then the following week, you completely already forgot about this video, which been there, done that. Okay, I'm a freaking sponge. I like to learn so much, and sometimes it's just so hard to really implement it. But if you really want it, you're gonna do it. And it shouldn't be that hard, because all of these things you're doing for yourself. They're positive reinforcements. It's not like, oh, I don't want to have to do this. Like, come on, if you want your life to change, you have to change, right? And for some, what is it going to take for you to change? What is it going to take for you to want more for yourself? Is it going to take a natural disaster? Is it going to take your health deteriorating? What is it going to take? Because it shouldn't take for something horrible to happen to you for you to want to change. You should want more for yourself. And a lot of the times that stems from our childhood trauma, right? From experiencing trauma in general, is we believe that we don't deserve more, we don't deserve better, that we're kind of just there to give and not necessarily receive. We're there to serve, but we don't have a seat at the table. And I really resonated with that. I find it so hard to receive, really, really hard. I just really, really resonated with that. And I was like, well, I know that I deserve good, but when I finally find good, I kind of get scared and I push it away, and I'm like, what the heck? But no, that's when you have to become selfish, because guess what? All the people that are successful, all the people that have healthy boundaries, that have a healthy lifestyle, they realize that they had to put themselves first and allow themselves to grow and water themselves with the help of their top 5, and then they blossomed into this beautiful flower and were able to provide strength and encouragement and be in somebody else's top 5, right? Because you want to water the person that's watering you. You don't want to take away from your top 5 and not give anything back in return. And you might ask yourself, well, what do I have to give if I'm at the very bottom? The best things in life are free, believe it or not. Believe it or not. The way that I like to give back to the people in my top 5 is my time. They need to talk to me? Sure, I got you. Let's talk. What do you need to talk about? Okay, I'm gonna listen. All right, if you want feedback, I'm gonna give you positive feedback, and I'm gonna encourage you to continue to keep going. Not only that, but sometimes a lot of these people are already successful in my top 5. They don't really need anything from me, but because they water me and because they invest in me, I want to do the same. So I'll offer, let's say if I can't do something financially for them because they don't need it, I'll say, hey, can I come over and clean your house? Can I walk your dog? Can I do this? Can I do things of that sort? A lot of things that you can do are free, and people are so appreciative of that, believe it or not. Like my notes were scattered all over the place because the way that my brain is set up, I just scribble everything that comes to mind as that person is speaking. So we covered the rule of 5, right? We covered boundaries, and we again are really focusing on kind of unprocessed trauma and how we can decide to grow from that. We can either identify as somebody who was wronged in life, as somebody who wasn't dealt the right cards, but that's like 60% of people. And I'm sorry to break it to you, you should not identify as that. You should want to separate yourself from that. Sure, it can still be part of your story because at the end of the day, it made you who you are. But you should not continue your life with, well, this happened to me. No, you're becoming a victim, right? You don't want to be a victim, right? You want to be somebody who's able to have people look up to them, who admire them. Many times, in order for us to really heal from the trauma and get ourselves motivated, we need to seek professional help, okay? We do not want to vicariously be vomiting our trauma out to our spouses, to our boyfriends, to our best friends, to all these other people, because how many of us have people in our life who feel very comfortable coming to you for advice because at the end of the day, they respect you and they respect what you have to say and they really take from it, right? But we have to also realize that that person is a person with just as much problems or just as much baggage or just as many issues and emotions, but they handle it completely different. And at the end of the day, nobody really wants to hear the same person vomit their trauma over and over and over, especially if they do nothing about it. So that's when you say, you need to seek professional help in a friendly way. Like, hey, I love you and I care about what's going on with you, but not right now. I can't hear you talk right now. Or I can't do this right now. And you need to set those boundaries and you need to help them realize that perhaps they need professional help and perhaps you yourself need that professional help in order to grow and get to the place where you're having that healthy relationship with those 5 people in your life. Because those 5 people in your life, they're not there for you to drain them. They're there to help water you. And again, you're watering them. I just covered this briefly. It's not the whole thing. It's not the whole seminar. I was there for about 6 hours and I learned so much. And I just wanted to make this short and sweet. So I hope you guys were able to take away from it. I'm not an expert. I'm just a woman in love with learning, in love with speaking my truth, in love with growth. And I'm trying to get to a place where I'm able to help myself for once. I'm able to help myself so that I can help others. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.